This storm is about to go nuts. Clear air out in front of it, whole mid-level mesocyclone wrapping up above me now, feeding into this area right here. We're gonna drive north, we're gonna get ahead of it. This storm's going nuts. It's 10:32 a.m. on Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. We are leaving Urbana. You ever just have those days where you just know you're gonna see a tornado? And I'm talking like days in advance. You're looking at the setup and you're just like, I'm gonna see a tornado. That's the kind of day where I see tornadoes. And so the models have really struggled with this one. It's a flawed setup, but I like that. I love a setup that makes me feel like an idiot. Like I actually have no idea how today's really gonna unfold, other than the fact that I'm going to see a tornado, and it's probably gonna be in far northwest Illinois. So we've got a moderate risk in place, a tornado-driven moderate risk, and the latest day one outlook from the great Roger Edwards mentions violent tornadoes being the potential today, and that is the high end. If you just look at the bones of this day, it's got the makings of a significant tornado event across parts of northwest Illinois and eastern Iowa. But also on the table is a cap bust. Also on the table is storms not going up to the end of the day and maybe being north of the boundary, so they're just hailstorms. On the table today is a couple of really intense supercells producing giant hail and maybe a strong to violent tornado. So I'm really curious, just from a storm observation standpoint, like, obviously I want to get a storm to develop, and then, you know, from that point on, it'll be really fun to observe the storm and look at what's going on and try to understand what's going on with the environment, because the truth is none of the models is right. You know, it might be some combination, one might be more right than the others, but we're just going to be along for the ride as we head through the afternoon and the evening, trying to understand, you know, how is this environment evolving, and the storm will be a big clue there. We'll be able to learn a lot from the storm, what it looks like, how it's behaving, and it's just going to be really fascinating. My target is Aledo, Illinois, and let me explain myself. So my grandpa, my mom's dad, was a pastor at the Lutheran Church in Aledo from the time that I was born until I was 7 or 8 years old. He retired in 1995 and unfortunately passed away from cancer in 1995, much too early. So there's a reason Aledo is special, but there's a little bit more to it. And this is a story that I know because I was told the story, so it's one of those that, you know, maybe the memory is there because someone put it there, but, you know, when I was little, you know, 2, 3, 4 years old, something like that, we were up there in Aledo. We would go up there for the weekend sometimes and, you know, go to church on Sunday mornings. I was very little. I barely remember this stuff. But there was this big front porch, and one night there was a storm, a lot of lightning and thunder, you know, one of our classic Midwestern thunderstorms. And I woke up crying because of the storm, and my parents came and got me, and they'd still been awake. It must have been, you know, an evening storm, maybe a Friday evening or something. And so they brought me out onto this big front porch. There was, you know, one of those porch swings that's suspended from the ceiling, and they sat with me on the porch swing, and we watched the lightning and the thunder, just kind of lighting things up and listening to the big booms. And, you know, I'm sure they were talking to me about how you can count and hear how far away the thunder is. And again, I was so young, and I don't have details here. I don't know what happened and what went down, but I have this memory in my bones of sitting with my parents and watching this storm on the porch and having this, like, this is not scary. This is kind of fascinating thought process going on. And thunderstorms didn't scare me anymore after that. That porch is special to me, and my family's had nothing to do with that porch and that house and that church and the town of Aledo since 1995, which 28 years, almost 30 years. It sounds made up that I get to say things like that as it pertains to my life now. I'm used to being like a kid and hearing grown-ups talk about, oh yeah, that was 30 years ago. I'm like, what is 30 years ago? Well, it feels like that, kids. So I've just been feeling this nostalgic pull back to Aledo. I'm always kind of thinking about passing through Aledo and getting lunch at Happy Joe's, which is where me and my grandpa, our birthdays were like a week or so apart. And so we would have a joint birthday party there. And we'd have pizza, and I'd play arcade games. And as today is approached, you know, there's some chase days where it's, you've got a bunch of things on your calendar, you gotta do this and that, and it's tough to get out the door, and you're in a bad mood. And today's felt differently. It's felt different. As in, I've known I'm gonna see a tornado today, and my calendar is, you know, pretty open. Sent out an alert to folks at work to alert our many facilities across the area. But you know, family calendar is pretty clear today. It's just been easy to chase today, easy to leave early, and so I'm leaving early, especially if this is going to be a, you know, potential cap bust and late day storm event. But I've just kind of felt like I just want to leave a little early, be alone in the car, think, and go revisit some nostalgia, go reconnect with childhood Andrew, where that memory of, you know, getting that healthy respect for thunderstorms, but kind of losing the fear, the rest being history. Now here we are. I think that, I don't know that 3 or 4-year-old Andrew would know what to do with 35-year-old Andrew, but you might think he was pretty cool. Let's go prove him right. Let's go get some pizza. Let's go feel some feelings. And then let's go find a thunderstorm. Gloomy 55 degrees rolling into Aledo. Find some pizza. We're gonna do a little nostalgia tour, and we're gonna make a plan. I am a calm 10 out of 10 tingles. It is happening in Northwest Illinois today. Is this heaven? No. It's Northwest Illinois. I definitely don't need to eat again until post whatever is about to happen. So I'm gonna get out of this parking lot. I'm gonna go drive by the church where my grandpa was a pastor while I was a baby through age 7. In a house that we spend Christmases and Easters, birthdays at Happy Joe's, and then find us a gas station to get a fountain Coke, clean the windshield, start figuring out a plan. That's the house. That's the porch. overcame my fear of thunderstorms on. Then here's the church. Messiah Lutheran Church. I'm guessing the church is closed. On a Tuesday at 2 p.m. The sun is starting to poke out. Warm front's here. There we go, sunshine in the target area. That's the backside of the clouds. Look at the rolling motion here. Whoa. That's your helicity visualized. We're gonna give up the cushy cumulus. Yes. We're gonna give up the cushy Casey's lifestyle. I'm just gonna drive to the south. The south side of town. We're having fun. We're gonna go drive to the south side of town, the edge of town. Just sit there. And I don't know, there's this storm in Missouri that I've been watching since lunch that now is tornado warned and is moving out of what was not really an area and is kind of tracking to the southern edge of what I would consider like the zone today. And I'm just looking at the radar and there's all these little new storms trying to develop on the north side of it. We've got cumulus percolating on the warm front. You look at surface obs and everything's just getting sucked right in here. And every time I use that terminology, like May 3rd, 2021, everything's getting sucked right in here. See tornadoes. Same thing with Divernon, 2020, July. Everything's just getting sucked right in here. Whenever you see your environment just funneling into one location, go to the tip of that one location. So my pattern recognition bells are going ding, ding, ding. And I'm pretty much in that zone now, but I could maybe do myself a little southward drifting. I don't know. Like I'm where I would want to be positioned to have anything that's going to develop be off to my west or to my south that I can just drop to or jump right over to. So I don't know, I don't want to do a lot of chasing my tail around, and I've been feeling this area for my target for days, so why change it up now? As a storm chaser, I love a parking lot on the edge of town facing southwest. Now we can watch this Q field and any developing storms off to the southwest. We can watch them visually as well, because sometimes you can get some really good cues visually that you don't looking at the radar or satellite on the computer screen. See the health of an updraft or something like that. Sometimes you get a clue there. It says, oh, I'm gonna drive toward that. So I'll be scanning the horizon looking for crisp tops. Right now this is early, it's just fluffy. Look for those rock hard cauliflower-like cloud tops. That lets you know you've got a real strong updraft. Whew.
For southeastern Macon County and northeastern Randolph County, severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15.
The stars have arrived with Hardee's Star-Deal Combo. Right now, you can get a juicy Hardee's charbroiled cheeseburger, crispy 3-piece hand-breaded chicken tenders.
Got a really intense line of storm starting to go up to my southwest. I was heading toward Carthage, trying to get ahead of this area of little showers that was organizing, and now all of a sudden the confluence line behind those showers has just exploded with 2 really intense thunderstorms. So I tend to think that's the show, and they're headed right toward Carthage, so that's feeling like a smart target right now. Smart adjustment location anyway. I'll be in Carthage in 15 minutes. 5:15, I'm in Carthage, and we got these cells blowing up just to my southwest, about 45 miles southwest. This is like 3 radar scans worth of work. These updrafts have exploded right in front of me. You can see the dark sky. I'm getting like lightning up here, cloud to cloud lightning. Some rumbles of thunder. It's a breezy 80 degrees. It definitely, there was the lightning I was waiting for. It definitely kind of feels like it here. My vibes have been unwavering, 10 out of 10. Gotta figure out an intercept here. Wow. This is a weird route. We are headed south out of Carthage. We've been sitting in Carthage, and I think that I know what my storm is going to be. We've got still a couple of storms that are competing over here, but there's one that's going to be crossing the river by Canton, Missouri. It is southwest of me by 43 miles. We're gonna drop south just a bit and get ahead of it. See what it looks like. I think we're about to have fun. Storm's looking a little grungy right now, a little murky, but I'm gonna hang in close with it and just let it ride right into the warm frontal zone, right? 6:31 p.m. It's an intense storm, but I think it's got some issues. And so I'm gonna take advantage of this poor terrain and road network area that I'm in and just focus on getting ahead of the storm for a bit. I got in it, and so it seems like an okay time to be like relaxing my attention on it for at least 15 minutes or so I can reposition and kind of like hit the reset button and be out ahead of the storm again and let it organize. All right, we got a tornado warning on the storm now. 6:43 p.m. I'm back out in front of it. We're back out in front, and we got screaming southeasterlies. It is kind of HP right now, but we'll let this little merger happen. The structure is beautiful, and we'll have fun. Chase the storm. That's why we're out here. Stunning Supercell. I cannot even fit it all in the camera. This storm is about to go nuts. Clear air out in front of it. Whole mid-level mesocyclone wrapping up above me now, feeding into this area right here. We're gonna drive north, we're gonna get ahead of it. This storm's going nuts. assume this is another chaser here, taking the back roads, trying to cut over to Highway 24, which will get us back in front of this storm, which is just a tornado-warned monster. I think we about drove into the tornadic circulation there south of Industry, turned around, and immediately got out of there. And sometimes you just have to say, all right, goodbye storm for a while. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. We are in a little pocket of bad terrain in a river valley. Place to be any other day but today. God bless Highway 24. We are actually catching up to it. I think we'll be able to cut in front of it by Havana. Have one last little look at it here. The sun is going to go down soon. So I'm 14 miles from Lewistown, and it looks like on radar there is an intense circulation about to go in or very near Lewistown. I can't tell how legit that is. There's a lot of lightning out ahead of it, which makes me think it might be real. Yep. Oh my God, it's a strong tornado coming right into Lewistown. Can I see it? Maybe. That's the moment I spotted the Lewistown tornado developing to my north by a little more than 5 miles. I hit pause on the camera, grabbed it from the dash, and pointed it at the tornado in case it was the only shot I got. The problem was, I never hit record. Not until I put the camera back on the dash and kept driving. I never saw the tornado again. The storm-chasing nightmare. I encountered some debris and minor roadway obstructions as I made my way through Lewistown, but I turned east on Highway 24 before crossing the path of the EF3 tornado on the north side of town. It's deceptively quiet here on the east side of town. Numerous homes have been destroyed on the north side of town and across surrounding rural areas. I followed the storm down Highway 24, right down the Illinois River Valley. Sometimes I'd hit a floodplain and grab a view, but much of the drive was lined with trees while darkness set in. I'd follow the storm back to the interstate, but the chase was over. I mean this in the most literal way. I've been doing this for a lot of years, 20 of them. That's a lot of great chase days, and it's also a lot of chase days where it just wasn't my day. This was an absolutely stunning supercell that provided some of the best structure I've seen in my home state, but it was also one of the most challenging, in some ways unfulfilling chases, in that I had to turn away from a storm that I'd been anticipating for several days right as it was peaking. You heard me earlier in the video though, I'm out here to have fun. There was going to be nothing fun about driving further north up that highway through blinding rain until I met a fast-moving, potentially violent tornado. On a day like this, with damaging tornadoes moving at highway speeds, there's no place for a rainy game of peekaboo. Turn around and live to see the next storm. Always remember 2 things. 1, there will be a next storm, and 2, if you had a hard time chasing storms today, everyone else probably did too. As I was driving through Bartonville with the sirens blaring, Colin Davis called to do a wellness check as we both came out of chase mode. We'd been on the same storm all day, but never really all that close to each other until now.
Hey, what's up? Oh, I'm good. I'm in Bartonsville with the sirens going off. Yeah, visually, I would kind of, well, visually, like you can see a whole lot. Radar and from what I could see being lit up by lightning, I kind of felt the same way. I just was able to stay in its ass. I saw a distant tornado developing in whatever town, whatever it was. I saw it from a distance. Oh, damn. Yeah. Where are you at? Okay. I'm gonna stop here at Goodfield just for a second. I've been just... This is the part of the chase where you need to just stop and be like, it's done. It's over. Let my body relax. Been just gripping the steering wheel, driving up behind the storm, finally got ahead of it at Peoria, and now it's dying, which is fine. It's dark. It's been a nice chase. Be nice to stand up and maybe empty my bladder. What an interesting day though. My battery's about to die. Let's see if I can wrap this up before the battery shuts off. I think we got views of 2 tornadoes. One of them I wasn't sure it was happening at the time. The second one, I knew there was a tornado developing, and we got, I think, a view of it starting to develop. Here, Lewistown. And some intense moments. It was kind of a tricky day where when I was close, the storm was not producing a tornado, and when I was far away and readjusting, the storm was producing a tornado. So we did our best to stay with it solo all day, with the storm moving 40 to 50 miles an hour through not ideal terrain. I'm not mad about how the day went. Some beautiful structure. Really good supercell structure. It would have been an incredible storm if it was moving 20 miles an hour and we could have just watched it. Challenging storm to stick with. Here's what I'm talking about. Oh, put the car in park. $73 degrees. Let the stress out of the vehicle. Text my wife, let her know that I'm okay and I'm done. I thought today would go differently a little bit. There was one honkin' supercell for like 4 hours. That's what I expected to happen, but I thought we would have some clean views of tornadoes and maybe a little bit easier. And maybe 50, 70 miles north not right through that river valley and tricky terrain. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, because it's just the beginning of another busy storm observation season here in the American Midwest. We'll see what happened when we get home. Unwind, digest it all, look at the video, look at the reports for the day.